There we go. Welcome everybody to Stop Running to the Well. We have a lot more people joining us, so I will welcome you as you all arrive. But for now, just wanted to say hello from me. I'm Angela de Souza, and I can't see without my glasses, even though Vanity wanted me to take them off. It's lovely to see you all here today. We're going to be talking about how we can help you maximize your time and your money using automation in your businesses. We are waiting for quite a few more people to join us. So I'm just going to introduce myself in the meantime. And also I'm going to ask that you please mute your microphones, because it will just switch to who's ever speaking, and we are live streaming this as well for some people. So my name is Angela de Souza. I am the founder of Women's Business Club and the author of Stop Running to the Well. Women's Business Club is a global support network for women to help you break through to the next level of success in your business or your career. And so we do that through mentoring, networking, and training. Most of all, we're just a community. We're a community of professionals who want to be all we can be. We want to unleash our full potential, and we want to smash through those barriers that are holding us back. And yes, we offer a lot of key services, but really I find the greatest power is in what we do for each other, how we support each other, how we leverage our expertise and our shared knowledge, how we, just that simple phrase, I believe you can do it. You know, I've heard that simple phrase can be a game changer, it can really help people have the confidence to take those scary steps. And so we're a community. Women's Business Club is a community of professionals, and we started in the United Kingdom back in 2013. And now we are in 5 countries and looking to expand in whatever country will have us, will benefit from what we have to offer. So welcome to wherever you are across the world. I'd love to hear where you're dialing in from. Why don't you pop in the chat what country you're based in? It would be lovely to see where everybody's coming in from while we wait for the others to join us. So let's have a look in the chat. Just type where you're from. Scotland, Edinburgh, woohoo! Wakefield, UK. Hello, South Africa. UK, Jules from UK. Essex, UK. So there's a lot of us in the UK. I don't think Australia is going to be joining us, but you never know. Right, so it's lovely to see where you guys are all from. Keep putting it in the chat where you're from, and we'll get started. Others will join us as we go. You just never know what's happening on someone's internet or children, or you just never know what's going on in people's lives. So we'll get started. This is being recorded, and you are welcome to get the recording afterwards. So most of us are from the UK. So guys, invite your friends from other countries. Let them know. I know we've been going in the UK for a while, but let them know what's going on in their country. We want to support as many women as possible in their business journey. Right, I'm going to do a screen share. And we're going to just get on with it. Right, stop running to the well. I wonder how many of you can relate to this. I'm not going to tell you what it means yet, but can you relate to the fact that you're running? Maybe you're running on a treadmill, maybe you're running to a well. You'll find out more about what that means in a bit. But you have the sense of running. I have that sense, you know. You're running to get everything done in the day. Or if you live in a big city like London, I remember the days when I lived in London, you're running to catch the tube and you're running to get to a meeting on time. It's running and it's exhausting. And I don't know anyone who doesn't have or hasn't had that sense of just running and trying to get as much done in a day, and then flopping into bed exhausted at night, only to wake up the next day and do it all over again. And many of us live like that. Many of us feel overwhelmed. We feel out of control because of the sense of running. I'm hoping that today I can help you slow down the pace a bit, but not slow down your productivity, not slow down your earnings, but slow down what you have to do so that you can slow down the pace and then think about what you want to do. So it depends where you're at in your business journey, but in many times I find in business, we start a business because we're passionate about something, and then we end up being so bogged down with the business of business that we don't even get to do the very thing we're passionate about. And that's when the running becomes exhausting, because you're just running for the sake of it. And I would love to help as many of you as possible get to the point where you're doing what you love in your business. You don't feel that sense of overwhelm and running. You're fully in control of your business and you're back to doing the things that you love doing. So let's talk about some possible problems. Are you running to the well? Have you reached capacity and you can't take on any more clients? Yes or no? Is that you? You can type a comment in the chat anytime. You can put your hand up if you identify, but is that you? Now, some of you would say, oh, I wish I had that problem. It's a growing pain in a growing business that you reach capacity and you can't take on any more clients. I had a lady that spoke to me not too long ago saying exactly this. She's like, I would love to work with you, Angela, but I actually can't cope with any more clients. And I could hear the frustration in her voice because she really wanted to take on more clients, but she just couldn't cope with anymore. Even though she did have team, she did have things in place, she just couldn't cope with anymore. And I instantly knew, okay, there's probably a system problem here, because if you have a good system in place, you can scale, you can grow. There's no limit. The system is built to cope with growth for as many clients as you want. So that's one of the first problems that could be solved by automating your business. So if that's you, think, okay, look out for things today that could help you get to that point where you can say, right, I'm ready to take on more clients. What about limited time? Are you struggling with not enough hours in the day? Do you have that sense of, I just can't get my work done? I'm overwhelmed all the time. I don't have enough hours in the day. I feel like I can never get on top of things and I just don't know what to do. I can't keep on going like this. I'm going to get burnt out. In fact, I spoke to somebody just yesterday who says, I can meet you anytime. I work 7 days a week. And I was like, oh, no, that's not living. Working 7 days a week, like you're going to reach burnout. I didn't say it, but I thought it, we have to have times of rest. We have to have moments to recharge. We have to be able to do things other than work. Even if we love our work, I love what I do, but our brains work in a particular way where it's almost like a muscle. Now, I'm not a neuroscientist, so I'm not an expert in this field, but my very limited understanding is, it's very much like if you're exercising a muscle. If you're just going to exercise your right arm bicep and you're just going to keep exercising it, it's going to get very strong, but your other muscles are going to be weak, and then your whole body's out of sync. In the same way with your brain, if you are if you're continually working in one part of your brain, you are robbing yourself from the other parts getting strong. So if you are always in the rational side of your brain, you're always working and you're not actually using your creative side, you're going to miss out the creativity in your business. So I always, one of the first questions I ask people is, what's your hobby? What do you do for fun? And 9 times out of 10, the businesswomen that I mentor don't understand. And it's really important in part of your business that you do have a variety of things that you do in the days, that you do with your life, so that you can develop a really well-balanced, brain, if it's not just for the pure enjoyment of life and doing a variety of things. So that's really important. So if you're in that place and you're limited with time and you're struggling with not hours in the day and you're overworking, you're working the 7 days a week, scenario, then I'm hoping that today we can help you with some tips to get you out of that cycle and get you into a more balanced life. Right, now, what about, do you have a job? And if you stop the business stops. This is a trap. You start a business because you want freedom. You want to come out of of that 9 to 5 working for a boss. So you set up your business and then you suddenly realize you're still trapped in the 9 to 5, and yet it's worse now because you don't get to leave your job. You can't sleep at night because the problems are running around your head, and you now own a job, but it's much worse than when you were employed, and that's not why you set up a business. So let's see if we can help you solve that problem today as well. Are you tired all the time and you can't seem to get your energy back? Again, a common problem, because you're overworking, because you have got yourself to this state of burnout, you're now tired, and you're tired all the time, and it just won't go away. And that's really dangerous as well. That's a dangerous place to get to, and it could even be an indicator that you're approaching burnout. And so, having been there myself, I would say, please be careful. We need to put systems and processes in place that allow you to recharge and get your energy back, and then you can run again. You can run at the pace that you want to run. Have you lost your mojo and it's just work and not a passion project? Is this you, yes or no? This is, again, another common one that I come across. Many of us start our businesses and then we just go through the motions. We don't love it anymore. And this often happens after a period of success. It almost seems ironic, but you've succeeded, you've built this amazing business, and then turn around and you hate the very business you've built. And I'm not making this up. I've experienced this, and I've heard this over and over again. And in some cases from extremely successful businesswomen. Turn around and you just stick your tongue out at the building. You're like, I hate what I built. And it's not that you hate what you've built. It's that you've just lost your passion for it. And again, if we can put some systems in place, we can help you get your passion back. And then we can also make sure that you don't ever get to that place again. And the solution for me for all of these problems are having good systems and processes in place so that you're managing a system. You're not running around like a hamster in a wheel. Do you have limited money and you can't seem to make any more? Again, another common problem. You've reached your earning capacity. You can't make any more money. And you can't make money because you're exchanging time for money, and there's only so many hours in the day. So is that you? Are you stuck? You've hit a ceiling and you don't know how to make more money. Now, there are several ways that you can instantly change that. And since I'm speaking to mostly women on this call, I would say that most of you are probably undercharging. I always find that women are the worst at this. Women tend to hold back on the prices, are overly generous on the discount, and don't have that hard, cold. You don't have to be hard and cold, but you don't have that real head for the numbers. You've got to manage the numbers. Now, it's not all about the numbers. And we can use our softer feminine skills in our businesses, but we also need to be shrewd. We need to make sure that we are building a business. This is not a hobby. You're building a business, and business, at the end of the day, the difference between a business and a hobby is the money. The hobbies you do, whether you earn money or not, but a business is about the profit. You've got to build a profitable business. So if you've hit a ceiling and you can't make any more money and your business can't grow, then let's do something about it. We can definitely help you with that. Now, some people are not making any more money by choice. And what I mean by that is they've achieved a certain place in their business journey. They're earning what they want to earn, and they would rather stay. They would rather say, this is where I want to be, and I'm content here. I don't want any more stress. I don't want to build the business. I've attained what I set out to, and I'm happier. Now, that's a different story. But I'm guessing, because you're on this webinar, that that's not you. But there are people that get there. I met a lady maybe last year or so, and she said that I don't want to take on any more clients. It wasn't that she couldn't, it's that she didn't want to. She said, I've got the right amount of clients for me. I'm working part-time. I have time for my family. I'm in a good place. And so again, she wouldn't be on this webinar. She doesn't want to grow her business. She's where she wants to be. So that's a different story. And that's part of the question I would ask you, or part of the problem you could solve for yourself is, do you want to grow a business? Do you really want to grow a business? There's a price to pay for success. Do you really want to get to the next level of success and the next level of problems that come with it? Is that what you really want? Because if that's not what you really want, then let's work out where you really want to get to, what's comfortable, and maybe growing a business is actually what you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be striving to grow your business. You should be striving to put some boundaries around what you've already achieved and to say, right, I'm settling here, I'm staying, I'm not pushing forward. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think there's a lot of wisdom in knowing if you are meant to grow this massive, continually scaling, growing business and all the stresses that come with it, or if you're meant to just build this almost lifestyle business, this where you have a good work-life balance and you're content and you're happy. Make that decision as well, because I can certainly help you grow and scale, or I could certainly help you improve your ability to stay. But if you don't know which way you want to go, then we could put the wrong systems and processes in place for you. So let's see if we can help you get to that point where you can start increasing your profits. Now, overwhelm. I heard this just the other day. You feel constantly overwhelmed. You're in constant chaos. No matter what you do, you just live in a state of overwhelm. And just everything is always chaotic. And you'd love to get to a state of calm. In fact, the word boring actually appeals to you. I could just be bored. That was amazing. And again, we can help you by putting good systems and processes in place so that you can get to that point where you're feeling in control of your business and your life. Oh, another one. There's so many problems, so many pain points, aren't there? Are you stuck in repeat mode and constantly doing the same task over and over again? I was like this a few years ago. I found myself 4 a.m. trying to get on top of my never-ending flow of emails. And I stayed up late because I said, I'm going to stay up until my inbox is empty because I can't handle this anymore. And so I did that. And I found myself replying to emails saying a lot of the same thing. Either I was typing it out from scratch or I was copying and pasting from the previous email thinking, this can't be right. I'm sitting here, surely someone else could do this. Surely there's a better way. This doesn't make sense. I'd much rather be sleeping now. And so you might not find that with your emails, although I'm guessing most of you will say, actually, yes, I do a lot of repeat stuff. It could easily be a machine doing it because it's just the same stuff. Or other tasks that you find you're doing the same tasks repeatedly over and over again. And that's an indicator that automation should be put in place. Because as soon as you're doing anything repeatedly, we can automate it. And the beauty of automation is that if you've automated the stuff that you're doing repeatedly, you can then free up your time to focus on the things that need your personal attention, like dealing with clients or taking care of your team or whatever you can't automate. Those things are usually the people things, offering that personal touch. And so if that's you, let's see if we can put some solutions in place today. So, oopsie, sorry, me and these different screens. So I'm going to introduce you now to a really good friend. She's also my editor and my publisher, Denise Roberts. She is an editor and book strategist to CEOs and senior leaders, and she's an ex-journalist, and she is a phenomenal woman. She goes above and beyond. She gives far too much. Denise, we've got to talk about that, but only to me. You can only give too much to me. No, but seriously, Denise is an absolute gem in the business world. A phenomenal businesswoman, a brilliant book strategist and editor. And if you have any desire to write a book, you don't know where to start, or you've written a book and you don't know what to do, or anywhere in between, definitely get in touch with Denise. I highly recommend her. So we've discussed the pain points. I'm going to ask Denise now to read a chapter or the story part of Stop Running to the Well. This is where the book title comes from. So I'm going to hand over to Denise to read that, and then I will pick up and hopefully we can get some ideas in place for your businesses just so that you can start taking control. So is that okay, Denise? Can I hand over to you?
Absolutely. That's absolutely fine, Angela. Thank you so much. It's brilliant to be here, and hello to everyone. I'm really excited about this topic. So I'm going to read this story from the book and Stop Running to the Well. that illustrates the systems meltdown problem that Angela's been talking about with us this morning, this afternoon. So it was a hot, sunny afternoon, another ordinary, uneventful day in the small African village of Tombala. Dust-coated workers are arriving home from the well in dribs and drabs. They must do this long walk twice daily to the only water supply that supports Tambala and several other small villages nearby. Each morning, villagers would get up with the sunrise and make their way to the well to get sufficient water for their morning needs. Later in the afternoon, they would make their way back to the well in the sweltering heat to collect more water for their evening needs. This pattern continued every day of the week. The villagers knew only one way to collect water, and that was to make the trip to the well twice daily. Their parents and grandparents had done the same, so there was no reason to even consider that there should be another way. Then one year, the tribal leader died and a new one was chosen. One day, while patrolling the village, he watched the people making their usual regular trips to the well. He watched as young children, elderly women, and some clearly ill individuals, all with heavy jugs on their heads, shuffling back and forth, carrying water to their homes. He scratched his head. He knew this was the way their people had always done it, but deep down felt something was wrong with the picture. So he went to visit some of the elders. "What can we do about this water fetching problem?" he said. "What problem?" said one elder. "Why do you want to change things?" said another. So the tribal leader went away to think about the solution on his own. Soon he had an idea. Ping! He beckoned two young men who came running over to him. Following a brief conversation, an agreement was made. These two men would be paid to fetch water from the well for the villagers. The first man ran home and fetched the largest clay jug he could find and then ran to the well. He understood he would be paid for the quantity of water he delivered and wanted to get started right away. Now, the second man was known to be a wise person who thought a little out of the box. He went back home and didn't reappear that day or the next day or the next week. Finally, he came out of his house and sat under a nearby tree. Sat under a nearby tree in the shade, carving pieces of wood into what looked like unusually long boats. He seemed utterly uninterested in his new job. Weeks passed, then months, and the first young man was still at it, working hard. His many daily trips to the well had become less frequent because it was tiring fetching water all day in the sun. Still, he was happy as he was getting paid well for each liter of water he delivered. After several months, something strange appeared in the middle of the village, in the center of the village. All the boats that the young man had been carving were joined together and raised up on stilts to make a long line as far as the eye could see. The village chief called all the villagers together around the mysterious object. There was much pointing and speculation over what it could be. "What is it?" "I haven't a clue." "Wait a minute, chief's about to inspect it." When the crowd was hushed, the chief knocked loudly onto the wood, and suddenly there was a sound of gushing water. Then, out of the mysterious-looking object and into a basin flowed fresh, cool water straight from the well. The villagers cheered. The second villager had built a pipeline to bring water from the well to the villagers. It meant that only one or two people would need to go to the well each day to pump the water into the pipeline. Tambala was never the same again. And the villager who built the pipeline never had to work much after that. but had a steady stream of income for the rest of his life and for future generations. All lived happily ever after. Stop running to the well.
Thank you, Denise. I was just struggling to find my mute, my unmute button. So that's it, ladies. That's a little story. I love stories, and that's just a little story. It's a simple story, but that actually it could highlight for us what we are doing in our lives, in our businesses. How many of us are grabbing a button and running to a well? And you know, if you get sick, you can't run to the well. If you have to go to your child's sports day, you can't run to the well that day. If you take a holiday, you can't run to the, and you can see how if your business activity is a metaphorical running to the well, then you can see how you're not going to be able to build the business that you dream of. Imagine if your business worked, if there was a steady stream flowing, whether you were on holiday, whether you were not feeling well, whether you just felt like having a spontaneous day off, your business still operated systematically, it functioned smoothly. Your income was growing. In fact, last year I took a sabbatical. I took a year off and my company grew, my income grew and my salary grew during probably a time when most people were struggling. I was able to step away from my businesses, actually. I had multiple businesses and they all grew. And I attribute most of that to the fact that there was excellent systems in place and I have a brilliant team and they were able to run the systems while I did what I needed to do to work on my health, etc., etc. So I'm going to get this out of the way before I give you some free practical tips, okay? And what am I going to get out of the way? I'm going to get this out of the way. Some feedback, what people are saying about working with me, about using the Stop Running to the Well systems. Okay, so what we can do, what I can do, and my team and I can do for you, is there are 3 ways we can help. Okay, first of all, you can buy the book, which Denise read out of. So the book is very much an introduction to all the principles and concepts and gives you some practical tools. I think it's $9.99, Denise, or whatever it is. It's regular book price, available at all your local, wherever you buy books, or you can buy it directly from us, and you can just work through the book at your own pace. Okay, so that's step 1, easy peasy, low financial investment. And then the second type of way that we can help you is the DIY. So we've got some structured courses and downloads and templates that you can sign up to the course and you can work through it yourself at your own pace and you can do it yourself. And that's absolutely fine if you want to give that a go first. The investment is £597 for the whole course and all the downloads. So it's a 4-part course and it gives you templates and downloads. I'm going to pop something in the chat for you today, though. Okay, if you, just for those on this webinar, and this is a once-off webinar, I'm not repeating it again, I'm just doing this to launch the book and introduce things. If you go to the website, Stop Running to the Well, I have scratched out the 597 and given you a special price for webinar viewers only. So once I've heard from most of you and you've either signed up or declined, that price on the website will then go back to the full 597. So I'm really hoping that for those of you that feel like you would like to have a reasonable investment, it's not a lot of money, and step-by-step dummies guides with me waffling on a video plus corresponding worksheets and Excel spreadsheets, etc., then that's what I'd like to make available for you today. So this is our special offer. Now, I don't want to give it away at this price. I don't want to, but I'm doing it today. So we will send you an email follow-up as well. You can hop on the website now and grab it up until the end of this week. But we haven't promoted this publicly. I'm just telling you, those of you who are on this webinar today. So that's that. The third way we can help you is the done for you. And this means that my team and I will come in, we'll do a full assessment of your business. We'll take a look at what running to the well activity you or your team are doing. We will put some systems and procedures in place for you, and then we will create a long-term plan where we can outsource those areas to our team of experts, and they can work for you for as long as you want to. So this is very much something that will be custom, and it would work according to your budget. So if you have X amount of budget, we will build something around that. If you wanted us to build the system and then you manage the system, that's fine. Or we build the system and we use our team of experts to maintain the system for you on a monthly basis. So these are the options. This is what Stop Running to the Well can do for you and your business. So even if you want to start with Buy the Book and you feel, I need a bit more help, you do the DIY course. If you feel, don't like this, then get in touch and we'll offer the done for you. Okay, so that's a little bit about what we can offer. I just wanted to get that out the way. So the rest of the time, we can just focus on you and your business, and you're not worried about when's the big upsell coming? When is she going to try to sell me stuff and take all my money? Don't worry, I'm not going to do that. I'm just giving you the best value I can today. So let's move on. So there we go. That's what you'll find on the website. If you go to stoprunningtothewell.com, scroll down about halfway down the page and you'll see this option, click sign up. As long as that price is on the website, it's available to you. And then we'll take it off and then we'll make this website available to the general public at the full price for the course. Done. Right. Now let's see how much value we can get for you today. How do you get started? This is how you get started. And this is the part most people don't get past because it is boring, it's tedious, but also it's an eye-opener. If all you do is this one step, it will already change your working habits. Get a notebook and pen, get a spreadsheet, get whatever it is that you like to take notes on. Record your hourly activity. And if you have a team, ask them to do the same. They'll hate you, I promise, guaranteed. They'll accuse you of micromanaging. It's too bad. If you want to build a system, you have to take stock. Where are we at? So every hour, on the hour, just take note, what have you done in that past hour? I did this years ago. I actually did it every 15 minutes at first. And after, I didn't even get past day one because it was such an eye-opener to how poorly I was using my time. I felt embarrassed, and I was able to purely from one day of doing this, I was able to change the way I did things. I was able to change a lot of things purely from one day of doing this. Now, I recommend you and your team do this for a week or two, but even if it's a couple of days, it will help vastly. If we work with you, if you do the done for you option, we will ask you to do this because I cannot do anything if I don't have this information. So what have you done in the last hour? The first thing that this showed me was that I was task hopping. I was jumping between tasks and I still struggle to stop myself from doing that. I'm guilty as charged, but I was task hopping. So, you have multiple tabs open, you check your email, you check your social media, you have a Zoom call, while you're in a Zoom call, I hope nobody's doing this now. While you're on a Zoom call, you're checking your email, you're on your phone, you're task copying, you're in a spreadsheet, you're on a Word doc, you're everywhere. Okay. You cannot be productive whilst task copying. You need to do one task. You need to fully engage your brain. You need to fully be present in that task. And you need to complete that task. And there's a bunch of reasons why, everything ranging from the way the brain works and not getting all those neurons misfiring, all the way through to the fact that a happy hormone is released when you tick task done. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why, and it will massively increase your productivity. So the first thing you need to do is identify if you're task copying. And I guess most people today would say, yes, that's me, I'm task copying. Stop that. Record your hourly activity. So the first thing it showed me was I was task copying. I wasn't able to record my hourly activity because I'd have to write a whole A4 page of what I was doing in the hour. And that wasn't good use of my time. So then what I did was I was like, right, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do one task per hour so that I only have to write one thing down per hour. So social media, get on, do my social media, 1 hour's up, good, tick, move on, next task, check my emails, do all my emails. Now, as you and I both know, checking emails is not a simple task. It's not a case of checking your emails, job done. It's a case of one email will generate multiple tasks. And those tasks will generate the need for multiple emails, and you've just gone down a rabbit hole. And so it's not such a simple thing. So what I tend to do is I would group my emails that can have an instant response. Anything I can reply to and delete, job done, that would be that hour's activity. So go through all my emails, do the quick ones, get them out the inbox. Leave the emails that I know will generate new activities. And then I have folders for those emails. So I group them by activity type. So I do a lot of writing for magazines and blogs and books and whatnot. And I'm always needing to send writing off, and there's always deadlines. So I have a folder for writing to be sent. And every time somebody emails me saying, oh, I need this article by this date, I pop it in that folder. So then I'd sit down and have my hour of writing and say, right, get your head in the game, switch off everything, write, get these articles done, send them, job done, tick. So can you already see, I mean, I've just told you one thing, record your hourly activity. Can you already see how by simply becoming in control of your time, by being aware of how you're spending your time, you already are becoming more productive? Now imagine if you do that and you get your team to do it. But explain why. Because they will give you dagger eyes. I've been through this. You have to be tough to ask your team to do it, but explain why, and explain that you'll be doing it too. Because you want to get your company running as efficiently as possible. So we have to understand where you're at first before we can build a pipeline. So I could go on for ages about this, but also another thing that the hourly activity showed me was how much time I was giving away for free. I was going for coffee meetings. I would go to a coffee meeting. They requested a coffee meeting. I'd be like, okay, I'll meet you at the coffee shop. They would pick my brain and ask for advice or whatever. My valuable advice, because they didn't know it and I did, it was valuable. And then I would end up paying for the coffee because I'm generous by nature and I always offer. And I wish I could not offer, but I always offer and they always accept. I've had 2 occasions where one person paid for the coffee, and more recently, somebody paid for the whole meal and I nearly fell off my chair. That never happened to me before. Okay, but anyway, what this showed me by recording my hourly activity was the time wasted in giving away my time and the money I was spending on giving away my time. And suddenly I was like, wow, imagine if I eliminated all of that nonsense and focused on my work and actually had fee earning activity in those hours instead. Wow, it was a game changer. And so that doesn't mean I don't meet people for coffee, but very rarely I have to want to. And it doesn't mean I don't give away my advice for free, but very rarely I don't want to. It's taken me years to learn what I've learned, and I deserve to be paid for my expertise. And so do you. How many of us, and women again, women, this is a typical women problem. We are so kind and generous, which is lovely. But in business, we have to have a balance. So anyway, I'm going to take up the whole hour talking about this. Let me give you another point. So find patterns and repetitions. So you record your hourly activity, you ask your team to do the same, and then you find the patterns and the repetitions. These are the things that we will automate. Once we've identified the patterns and repetitions, we can now start looking at the system that we need to build. What can we automate to maximize your time, maximize your money, make you more efficient? Then we group it into sections. So like the example I gave, you could have a folder in your inbox. That's really useful. You could have a folder on your computer where you put things into different folders. You group it into sections. And the sections will be relevant to your business, but all business will have sales, admin, marketing, finance, etc., etc. So definitely those. And the beauty of it is, once you have a really full folder in a particular area, you can identify that that folder is taking up a lot of your time. Then you have to ask yourself, are you the only person that can do that? So if I'm speaking to business leaders now, you are the top dog in your business, then the question I'd ask you is, are you the only person who can do that task? And you have to be honest. Are you the only one that can do it? Or can it be delegated? Or can you outsource to an expert in that field? Question number 1. Question number 2, if you're employed, or if you're not the top dog in the business, but you're part of the business, you can still answer that question, but you might not be able to give it away if it's your job to do so. So that's a different story, but we can still look at systemizing it and seeing how you can do things better. Once you realize this, I have my desktop, I put this on my desktop, I made an image and put it on my desktop. Do I have to do this? Can only I do it? I don't have my desktop in front of me, but anyway, I have 3 things, decision-making factors. And the third one ends up, only I can do it, then do it. So if it can be delegated or if it can be deleted, I shouldn't be doing it. My time is far too valuable for that, and so is yours. The beauty of this is, it depends where you're at again in your business journey. But say, for example, your admin folder was just bursting at the seams and you realize that's where a lot of your time and money is going. You could then decide, should I get a VA? A VA is a very low risk way of starting to build your team, and they are experts in their field. If you're struggling with admin and you hate admin, it's just not your thing. It will take you so much longer to do it. You'll be less effective and you won't do a very good job, not as good a job as somebody who loves admin. So is admin wearing you down, wasting your time, sapping your energy? If so, why don't you pay somebody who loves admin? They'll work 10 times faster, they'll do a better job, and you'll be free from admin. Now, everybody I'm speaking to today either will love or hate admin. I doubt there's somebody that's totally in the middle. You either love it. Generally, most people either love it or hate it. If you love it, great. Even if you love it, do you have to do it? Because I've had to let go of some things that I love in the business. I'm like, oh no, I want to do that, but it's not only I that can do that. I have to pass it on to somebody else. And then if you hate it, then I must ask, why are you doing it? You know, why are you forcing yourself to do something you hate? No matter what your budget, you can start outsourcing, no matter what. If you're a teeny tiny startup business and you can only afford £15 and you can get a VA once a month for 1 hour, I mean, that's ridiculous. It's probably a bit ridiculous, maybe £30, okay, or maybe £90 or whatever. I'm sure you can find the money together, to pull the money together and get somebody else to manage that. You will feel a massive weight lift. But guess what? With those hours and hours that you've saved, for example, if you employ a VA for 4 hours a month, right? I'm pretty sure that you would take maybe 8 hours to do that work. The VA will do it in 4 because she loves it and she's an expert in that field. Maybe, just guessing, right? For those 8 hours that you've paid, maybe £15 an hour for a VA, I'm averaging here, they range between £10 an hour all the way up to £45, £50 an hour. I'm averaging here. How much is your hour worth? And how much money could you make in those hours that you've outsourced something that you hate doing? And so often, especially smaller businesses, very reluctant for the commitment. The beauty of a VA as well is that you can just, what I did was I said, okay, X number of hours per month. So I was in control of the budget. I didn't have to get a big bill that frightened me at the end of the month. And that's how I started building my team. Now my questions, and maybe some of you are in this position, now my questions are bigger. Which staff member do I employ next? And so now it's a bigger commitment, but I started at, a couple of hours a week VA because that's what I felt confident to do. That was less of a risk and less scary for me. But now I'm thinking, do I employ a salesperson next or do I employ a finance person next? And it's a different ballgame, but it boils down to the same thing. Once you've grouped things into sections, you can quickly identify who you need next on your team. Okay. Now, this is where we start writing the system. Write a flow for each section. So either you can read the book or you could get some of our free downloads and you can do this yourself, or this is where we would come in and we would help you. We start writing a flow. So what is the flow? What is your sales process? What's your admin process? What's your invoicing process? What's your marketing process? We start writing the processes. We start writing the flows. Because again, we can look at where we can automate the flow and where you have to have a person involved. And this is where we really get down to the exciting stuff. And that's when we start researching various automation tools. Okay, so that's how we would start. These are the 5 things you would get started. You would either start this on yourself, or we would come in and we would support you with this, or you could do it in the book. The book goes through this sort of thing as well. Now, here are my favorite automation tools. So once we get to automation tools, I want to share some of my favorites, but there are far too many to share with you today out there. It's just amazing what's out there. And also, again, we can work with any budget because you get things from free all the way up to flipping expensive and everything in between. So the CRM that we use, now you all need a CRM, you all need a database, a customer relationship management tool, whatever they're called. What you need is a place that can, number one, capture your customer information, and number two, produce some sort of automation with that information. If you have a good CRM, you can pretty much automate every area of your business through the CRM. So we use Infusionsoft Keep because it can do a lot. A suitable alternative would be Mailchimp or HubSpot. I don't know all of them, but there's quite a lot. But on a smaller budget, you could start with one of those. They have a degree of automation, but they can't do what Infusionsoft Keep can do. And then if you have a bigger business and Infusionsoft is too small for you, you might want to use a Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics. Those are a lot more pricey, but they can handle high volume of data. So we use that. So everything we do goes into Keep. One way or another, it goes into Keep, and you have a record on Keep. And then from there, we can then automatically send invoices, automatically send emails, automatically notify you of something, automatically wish you a happy birthday. Like, we can do so much from there. And then the thing that we use next is Zapier. I'm a raving fan of Zapier. I love Zapier. There's so much you can do with this little piece of tech. It's incredible. So Zapier will take information from one platform and connect it to another platform. And way back in the day, we were running events at Women's Business Club. Women's Business Club run monthly networking events. We run conferences. We do webinars such as these. We do loads. And the booking platform we use is Eventbrite. As you know, you booked in on it. And we use that for everything. And back in the day, we were taking your contact details out of Eventbrite manually and typing them into our CRM, Mailchimp, or whatever it was. Then we got clever and we exported your contact details and popped them into the CRM. Then we got Zapier, and it was a game changer. Suddenly, Zapier did it for us. Zapier is like having another staff member. Literally, Zapier will do what a full-time staff member would do for us in our business, our size business at the moment. That's how powerful it is. So don't worry, nobody lost their job in the process. We just gave them different work. But Zapier will do so much automatically that most businesses do manually, repeatedly the same tasks. And so I could definitely help you with programming Zapier. It's a powerful piece of tech. Another piece of tech that I particularly enjoy is Manychat. Now, there are alternatives to all of these out there. These are my favorites, but there are loads of other things that do a similar job. But I recommend these ones, and I certainly enjoy these ones most. So Manychat, if you go into our website, you'll see a little chat button. If you comment on one of our posts on Facebook or Instagram, you'll get a message into your, a DM into your inbox. And Manychat can take one of my businesses. This is the best example. One of my businesses used Manychat, and this is what happened. Somebody went onto our website, clicked the chat button, had a conversation with the chatbot, asked them all the questions because we programmed the chatbot to be able to respond to frequently asked questions. Went through all of the questions. The customer was satisfied with the answers to all the questions. She clicked on the buy button. She paid. Now this is high-end products that we're selling. So it's £1,500 sale. It's not like 2p. It's, it's a good amount of money. Goes all the way through to the sales process, clicks pay, pays the deposit, and we get a notification. What Manychat did was it took care of the client from beginning to end. She was fully satisfied. If she had wanted to speak to us in person, there was always the option to do so. Absolutely. We're not eliminating the personal touch, but she was satisfied. She got all the answers. She went to the payment page. She made the payment. So basically, job done from cold lead all the way through to high ticket sale. And we woke up in the morning and job was done. Amazing. That's what Manychat, and that's what automation can do. I have dealt with chatbots in the past as a customer on other websites, and I've been perfectly satisfied if they're set up well. If they can answer my questions instantly, rather than me waiting in one of those queues, you're number 5 on the list. You're number 5 on the list. The ones I'm talking about. If the chatbot can answer my question instantly, rather than keep me queuing to speak to a real person, I'm perfectly content with the chatbot. And so Manychat's powerful, and there's so much it can do. Definitely can't go into all of that today. But if you did use one of our Stop Running to the Well automation tools, we could definitely program a chatbot for you, and we could get it working for you. So you could go to bed at night and wake up in the morning and your business has grown. Buffer is a social media scheduler. There are so many out there that you can use, but Buffer is very easy to use, very user-friendly. There's Later, there's Hootsuite, there's Tweet. There's so many out there. So the bottom line is get a scheduler for your social media. Get your social media scheduled so that you are on top of your social media. All you have to do is take care of the comments and engage with people. You don't have to continually be thinking up, what do I post? What do I do? There's so much that you can just let go of if you are in control of your social media. And Calendly, I am again a raving fan of Calendly. Calendly has just saved my life. I tell you, Calendly doesn't only take your appointments. It doesn't only, so you'll see a lot of people use it now on their email footer. If you want to book appointments with me, click here. It doesn't just book appointments. Calendly has automation. It has workflows. It can create the Zoom links. It can ask questions. It can survey people before you've even had the appointment. It can send out information people. Calendly, it can do so much before you've even had the meeting, and follow up after the meeting, and take payment, and. So I would recommend every business owner uses Calendly or some form of meeting app that has automation and workflows in it. It's not just booking meetings, it's so much more. And also I've become, if you go onto my Calendly, my personal Calendly, calendly.com/Angela de Souza, you'll see it's brutal. And I almost took it down. I thought it was too brutal, but my husband saw it and he says, this is genius. You should teach on this. This is brilliant. It is brutal, but I value my time and I don't have a lot of free time. So if you book an appointment with me, if it's the first time, it needs to be 15 minutes and we can achieve a lot in 15 minutes. And because you've got 15 minutes, you get down to business. And I usually find most of my calls, I can get to the point and get results within 15 minutes. And so I seldom take calls longer than 15 minutes. I do have a 30-minute call option, but that will be prearranged. And so once we've had the 15-minute call, I'll invite you to book a 30-minute call so that we can get down to nitty-gritty if we need to get down to whatever. And then I have an hour call that's only available for my team. So that's anybody on my team, that they can have an hour of my time. They're working with me, they're working for me, and I want to give them what they need, even if it's a natter. That's where I will allow the fluff. Okay, how are your children? How are my children? How's the weather? It's okay. I'm investing in my team. There's room there. We need to have a natter sometimes. Now, some people disagree. I had a call the other day with a guy. It was an hour. I booked in his system, not in mine. Otherwise, it would never have happened. And he spent 50 minutes talking about his life in another country and so much waffle. And then 5 minutes before the end of the call, he was like, oh, I've got another call. And then we didn't actually get down to what we had to speak about. And he said to me, oh, this is so important. This is where we bond and build rapport. But to be honest, I can't do that on every call, and neither can you. You've got to pick who you're going to give your time to, who you want to bond with, and the rest you just have to get down to business. Speaking of time, I have to be mindful of our time together. Then we have Google Forms. Any Google product I find is very efficient, very user-friendly, and integrates with most of these other platforms that I've mentioned. I use Google Forms, Google Spreadsheets, Google Docs, Google Slides for everything because it is so easy to set up automation. It's so easy to get your business running really, really streamlined. And then finally, WordPress. So WordPress is brilliant for your website. It's easy for you to manage yourself. You don't need an expert. It has a ton of plugins and it can do an awful lot. Now, we are actually moving away from WordPress as a company because we need even more than what WordPress can offer. So we have a senior developer that's recently joined our team who is developing some phenomenal tech for our company. So it's way beyond WordPress. But WordPress, I would recommend, is a brilliant start for any business. Up to a big business, you can use WordPress. A lot of big businesses use WordPress. And again, it can integrate, it can sync with all these other automation tools. So those are my favorites. And I'm going to allow 5 quick minutes for any questions. So if you want to ask a question, please just turn on your mic and I'll do my best in the short time we have together. But stop running to the well, hop onto the website, have a look around. And definitely, if you want to book a call with me and progress this, if you want to use one of the options that we offer to help you with your business, I'd absolutely be delighted to help you as best I can. So, do we have any questions?
I do have one. I don't want to jump in front of anyone that does want to ask, but I do have a question, Angela, and that is like, what's the, what kind of like stops a person from doing this? Because it seems fantastic, and it's like a no-brainer because, as you said, it would give you back your time. So why aren't more people doing it?
Because it's overwhelming. Well, that's the honest truth. If you don't think in this way, if you don't think analytically, if this doesn't come naturally to you, if you're not a systems person, it can be overwhelming. That's the first thing. The second reason people don't do this is you have to stop working in order to do this. You have to take time out and step away from the business in order to do it. And most people won't risk that time out. So either you'll have to lose a bit of money because you can't work during those hours in order to make money, in order to streamline your process, or you'll just have to employ somebody to cover for you or something. But you do need to take time out of your business in order to do this. And those are the 2 main reasons why people won't do it. But the problem is, if you, for example, spend half an hour today in investing in something that will save you half an hour every day, isn't that half an hour well spent? But most people won't spend the half an hour. So every day they're losing that half an hour. And so it compiles. Now, obviously it's more than half an hour. I would say a day. If you take a day out and spend a day with me to do this, you'll say, oh no, I can't take a day out. I can't do that, Then I'll say, well, I could save you a day a week by spending 1 day with me. I could save you a day a week for the rest of your life, for example. Does that help, Denise?
Perfectly. Thank you, Angela.
Any other questions? Everyone's very quiet. Got time for one more question. So if you just chat your mic on or pop it in the chat if you love it. Julia Reedshaw is a VA. So ladies, connect with her if you're looking for a VA, because she's the one that we all need to help us. Okay, last chance. Pop a question in the chat or turn on your mic. Otherwise, I'm going to say thank you for joining us and I'm going to say goodbye. Julia's popped her contact details in the chat. That's fantastic. So anyone needing a VA, do get in touch. Anybody else want to do a quick sneaky promo of their business? Pop it in the chat. We've got 1 minute left. Blatantly promote your business is absolutely fine. Okay, while you're building up the courage to do that, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I hope there was something in there that was helpful. I'd love to work with any of you that seriously want to grow or scale your business or want to take your life back or want, whatever support you want in your business. I'd love to support you as best I can. Thank you so much to Denise for reading the story for us and for being my awesome editor and publisher. And yeah, let's keep in touch one way or another. Social media, probably the best way to keep in touch. We can find each other on LinkedIn. Otherwise, just contact me at angela@angeladesouza.com. So there we go. You guys have done some promo and I've enjoyed spending the time with you. And I'm going to close now. Have an absolutely fantastic day.
Angela,
and I hope, yep.
Just a quick, if somebody wanted to follow up on the booking,
yeah,
and the do it yourself or the other option, is there a specific website?
StopRunningToTheWell.com.
Right.
All the information's there. And I did pop it into the chat earlier. And this video is on my Facebook page. If you want to see more information there as well, I put this video and the link. So it's literally StopRunningToTheWell.com. Everything you need is there. Thanks for asking that.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Right. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us.